A gala committee is after this meeting and every week until, am I right on that? So if you're on the gala committee, you got a lot of work to do, right? So if you're not on the gala committee, still got a lot of work to do. So let's, anything you need to say about that, Marilyn? We will later. Okay. With that, I see a group from Hudson Service Learning. I'll invite them to come on up and inform us of what's going on.
That's on. Thanks so much. Well, good morning, Hudson Rotary. Absolutely lovely to see you. I am sad to report meeting with you for this school year. We'll try to make it a good one. We won't be able to see you in May because it conflicts with our spring trip that I'll talk about a little bit at the end here after the students. And also then they're going to be graduating. Today is exactly 1 month till they walk across the stage at Blossom Music Center. So we're looking forward to that. So as usual, we have a couple of students for you today. So I will first introduce Emma Jordan. Emma probably didn't know she was going to go first, but I always like to throw her curveballs. So Emma's going to talk to you a bit about her experience in service learning this year. You'll hear from Ms. Fonville, who will introduce the next one.
Good morning. My name is Emma Jordan. I'm, as Mr. Bach explained, a service learning student at Hudson High School. I'm involved in a lot of service communities at the high school, including Hudson Community First, Key Club, and National Honor Society, but I do a lot more in my life than service. I'm interested in things such as music, art, whenever inspiration decides to find me, reading and writing. For my service sites that I've been working at this year, I started off working with special needs children at Eastwood Intermediate. I loved every minute of it, working with the kids and getting to know them. And currently I'm working at Grand Village Retirement Home in Twinsburg. And so service learning has been an amazing class. I love every second of it. I've been learning so much. And one thing that I think I can take away from the class is the value of a conversation. I think a lot of the times we forget that a simple "how are you?" or just asking about someone's day can make them feel less lonely. And I love that I've been learning about the key parts of that conversation, from a handshake to keeping eye contact. We're graduating in about a month. It's going to be amazing and terrifying at the same time. I'm going to be going to Ashland University to study integrated social studies, to do what some of these teachers do. And I'm also going to be studying digital media production on top of that. So hopefully I will find ways to teach my students both in person and through technology as our world is advancing. And thank you so much for having us here today. It means the world.
Good morning, Rotary. I'm Gina Vonville from Hudson's Service Learning Program. And the student I'm going to introduce is Lexi Kennedy, and she's been in my class this year. She'll tell you a little bit about her fall service and her spring service. She's an amazing student and is involved in many extracurricular activities. So thank you so much for hosting her.
Good morning. I'm Lexi Kennedy. As Mrs. Bonville mentioned, I'm not only involved in service learning, but I'm also a member of National Honor Society. I'm involved with the basketball cheerleading team as well as a competitive dance team. And I'm also a member of the band at the high school. So service learning has helped me in many ways, not only through the lessons that these teachers provide, but also the service. It has helped me figure out what I wanted to do with my life. In the beginning of the fall, when I was applying for colleges, I was really stuck with what I wanted to do. I was stuck between either going into business or going into education. And honestly, this, because of service learning in my site placements, that decision was a lot harder for me, but in the best way possible, because I was put at two wonderful sites, one dealing with education, the other dealing with business. For the first semester, I was at a Head Start, which is a preschool in Kent, and I spent the majority of my day with 17 3 to 5-year-olds clinging onto me like I was their mother duck. And this semester, I am at Hudson Community Foundation with the lovely Amy Jordan, who is a wonderful role model to me. She has taught me so many things, like how a business should be effectively run and the values of philanthropy and being involved with the community. This fall, I will be, or this fall, I will be attending the University of Pittsburgh to do their 5-year CASE program, which is an education program that will provide me with my master's in applied developmental psychology and then a master's in education, as well as a certificate in special education. And I'm so glad that service learning has helped me find this path.
Welcome. So I think we picked a couple good ones to end with the school year with. What do you think? Yeah. So it's excellent. So one of the things I just wanted to update you on as we finish up our school year in service learning. So what we're going on in 3 weeks from yesterday is our spring trip. We used to go down to Southern Ohio, but instead we've pivoted to doing something more local. So our spring trip's going to be in May. We're going to be staying at Camp Ledgewood Girl Scout camp for accommodations, using that as a base. But basically, we're going to send the students out Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. They're going to get 3 different experiences. One is they will go on a tour of Holmes County, Amish country. So we take them on a charter bus, and there is a local tour guide who comes on board, and they stop at a variety of different stops, and she is detailing the entire time on the bus the history of the Mennonites coming from Germany and Holland into the United States and migrating into Ohio, what the Amish belief system is, what Anabaptism is. They're going to get to see an Amish farm, talk to an Amish deacon. They're going to have the opportunity to meet some Amish women who will do handiwork, be on an Amish farm and meet some of the children who are there. And I think the highlight will be they get to go to an Amish home and have an Amish meal, which from last year, a number of students said was the best meal they ever had in their lives from that. So that will be great for them. And then in terms of service in the area, we're going to have students at Akron Cooperative Farms, which if you ever go down Route 8 towards Akron, you have Akron North High School on your left, the east side of Route 8. On the west side, on the right, directly across, is Akron Cooperative Farms. First Energy built this new baseball field just to the north of there. So there was an older baseball field that basically fell into disrepair because he had the new fields. So Mr. Doug Wirtz basically leased it from the city of Akron for $1 a year, and then was able to use it for an urban farm. So for all of the immigrant refugee population that are there, even within walking distance, they're able to come there, have a plot where they can grow their own produce that they can either use for their own purposes, or they can sell at a farmer's market that they hold during the summer. So if you're nearby, they do have a farmer's market during the summer that they run out at Akron Cooperative Farms for that purpose. So our students will be working there for a few days. They're also going to be up the street in North Hill. Justin Chenault, who runs the North Hill Development Corporation, he basically set us up with a project there at Cuyahoga Falls Avenue and Main Street. They're looking at that as somewhat of like a gateway to the North Hill neighborhood. He told me they did a study and they have 22,000 cars on average cross that intersection in a 24-hour period. So it's a high traffic area. So they have this whole wall of a building there, and they want that to be a mural. They already have an artist picked out who wants to do this elaborate mural for like a gateway. So our students are going to be prepping that wall and then also putting down like primer, basically creating a canvas for this artist to do what he's going to do there. So that'll be another one of the service sites. Couple others is Cuyahoga Valley National Park. Josh Bates is the ranger there. So he's going to have us for 3 days in CVNP doing a variety of different environmental projects. It could be pulling invasive species, planting trees, doing some trail repair from the winter. That he'll be there doing that. And then Richfield Heritage Preserve, which is down the way, which is another park. Students will be there also doing a service work outside. And then finally, the Metro Parks. They're going to hold a weekend after Mother's Day weekend. They're going to have a native plant fest at Monroe Falls Metro Parks. So we're going to be prepping the Metro Park for that because they're going to have this big plant fest. Apparently, it draws a lot of people that all sells native plants for people's landscape. So they're going to have a chance to do that. And then in the evenings, one evening, we're going to go bowling. So that's always fun. And the other evening, we're going to go down to the old Jewish Community Center in Akron. Gumdrip Theater is a local theater group in Akron. They put on a production musical / play called Broken Borders. And the performers are refugees. One's from Congo, one's from Nepal, one from Myanmar, Burma. And they do this production about their experience leaving their home countries under threat of violence and then coming to the United States and integrating here. So they're going to do this production. It's been an hour-long production, and then they're going to have Q&A with the students afterwards. So really a major centerpiece of this trip is forging these bonds, making them stronger every year with North Hill, between North Hill and Hudson. And then finally our last night, Thursday night, they're all going to get their medallions for their service work during the year. Service Learning is a certifying organization for the USA Freedom Corps. We have been since 9/11 when it was established. So one of the things that we have is if in a given calendar year you do 100 hours of service, you earn a bronze medallion from the president. 175 hours is silver, 250 is gold. So our students will get their medallions that night that they'll wear at graduation, and they're pretty sizable. They look like Olympic medals. They're pretty big. And they get a certificate signed by the president. So from what I understand, President Biden's carving out some time this week to get all the signatures on there. So so there'll be that. That's a joke. It'll be photo scan. All right. So that's what we have coming up for the end of the year. So any questions you might have? Yes. Pictures. Yes, I will try. I'll try my best to remember that. Mrs. Vonville, can you remember the pictures? Okay. Because that is my Achilles heel. I am terrible at pictures. So so that's but we will keep in mind to take some good photographs. You can remind me as well.
The last time that you were here with WRA, you spoke about an event coming up in May. Gina, can you address that, please?
Sure.
Actually, I have two events to talk about. The first one and the most immediate one is the event that we did last year, right before our service trip at the end of the school year, where we invited Rotarians to come and read a packet of stories that kind of share life lessons, and asked you actually to come and share those life lessons and facilitate some of those discussions with our students. So we're hoping that you are interested to support us in that endeavor again this year. That will be held on the 12th. Is my math right, Marty? That's Friday. Yes. Okay. Friday the 12th, and we will have it happen during our 4-5 period, which, barring no schedule changes, which happen every week, is around the discussion will begin around 10:50. So we'll probably ask you guys if you could arrive around 10:40. And we'll have a pizza luncheon with a smaller group of students this year. Last year, we had all the kids and it was a little unwieldy and hard to feed everyone in a short period of time. So instead, we're going to have about 25 students for anyone who wants to stay for lunch and have just an opportunity to talk to the kids outside of the realm of the writing pieces that we'll have you read. So the packet is still the same from last year. And I have my computer here and I'll have you guys sign up this week if you want with your email addresses, because last year we did it by hand and we realized that our old eyes struggled to translate some of the handwriting. So Mr. Cosman, Jamie asked me to bring the computer, which I did. And then your tech guy, Noah, will have packets and the sign up again next week. If anybody wants to think about it, look at their schedule and then decide next week. There he is. So he has agreed yesterday, Mr. Cosman and I talked to him and he has agreed to go ahead and bring those items next week for us and get a few more signups. In addition to that, we've been raising money for the cultural fair, which we were going to originally host on May 6th. And Amy Jordan has been amazingly helpful in this process. And I've been working with Wanda Bosch and Amy Jordan on a lot of the logistics, but there was just a lot of red tape with the city and it was making it really hard for our vendors. So we moved that to the fall and we figured we would kind of ride the coattails of the farmers market and are going to host it on a school site where we have a few less regulations and a little bit more room. And luckily our vendors have agreed to move to that location on that date. And so we're still continuing to finalize our fundraising with our classes, and WRA has been finalizing their fundraising. So, and we are also working with Hudson Montessori. And so it's been a really good experience for all of us. And, so we're really enjoying that. And then lastly, I just want to, as a parent and as a teacher, I want to thank you guys for your support of student programs in our community through, you support service learning. I believe you supported H2BE. And so I have to tell you that, and then through the scholarships, my two children were both recipients of the Rotary scholarships. And I know you only get to see them maybe like 6 months out, but this summer my son is working for a program through Ohio State called Life Sports, and he's mentoring inner city students and teaching them coping mechanisms. So it's an internship / job that he gets to do where he's giving back to the community. And I know that a lot of the values that you reinforce in our community through your partnership with the schools and the students are things that he is, experiencing in his time at OSU and the work that he's going to do this summer. And my daughter was a member of H2BE and service learning, and she is actually working as a naturalist for the Metro Parks this summer. And they take inner city youth who have never had the chance to go out into the parks and learn about nature. And so she's coming home today. And then she goes there tomorrow and starts her work with the Metro Parks. So thank you so much for your support. If you hadn't supported the programs that she was a part of, it's possible that they wouldn't be what they are or they wouldn't be around. And your impact actually is felt many, many years down the road. So thank you for all that you do.
Yeah.
Any
Just-
other question?
This is a question because I was listening with great delight to how much time you guys are going to be spending doing work in the parks or in the environment. And my question is, what is your protocol for preventing disaster from ticks?
But you want to handle this? Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'll just comment. I'll let Marty do maybe a pantomime of this is always everyone's favorite experience. When Marty gives a tutorial on how to dress to prevent ticks. So he usually tells them high socks. He pulls them up over his pants. I mean, he goes through the whole process of what they should wear, how they should wear it. And they usually really enjoy it. And then we recommend that they have like spray that kind of prevents it. And yeah, he does that too. But that's basically what we do. You know, the last few years we have been doing things at the parks, but like the Akron Cooperative Farms, they have like a greenhouse. And so that has been something that we haven't really had to worry about there. Last year at the Richfield Heritage Preserve, we were painting picnic tables. So this will probably, we did do tree planting before, but yeah, usually we actually usually give them, Marty gives them that tutorial when we're at Ledgewood. To be honest with you, that's probably the area that they're most likely to confront them, even though I'm sure they probably do a lot of preventative things as a camp.
Oh, yeah. Oh, excellent. Wow.
Well, it was really warm this year, right? And that's usually what. Get yourself a rubber suit, ladies. And everyone's gonna say, oh, no. Thank you.
Yes.
That was actually a really good question and
Yeah.
a good thing to think about because
Yeah. And I have to say, where I learned how to handle tick safety was at a place called Camp Manitowoc. And that's when I was the den leader for PAC 988, you know, Scouts BSA Shaker Heights. And we had to do tick safety, right? Had to go get the belt loop. All right, for this kid's completing that. Interestingly enough, I've only we were actually doing bushwhacking once out at Camp Ledgewood, and I was for sure I thought we were going to have a bunch that we didn't have any, so you never know. But the one time that I did have to always be memorable to me, and I was able to get them right away and pull them out. It was not a problem. So and all that was during COVID that summer when we were going crazy, summer 2020, and I wanted to go places with the kids because they were going out of their mind. And we went to Gettysburg because they can't shut down a battlefield. So, so we went to Gettysburg, and it was great. It was about a week before the battle. It was like late June, and there's no one there, which is unheard of at that time of year. And so we were able to camp right off the battlefield. So one of the things we did is we parked the car at the General Lee statue over on the Confederate side, and we did Pickett's charge right up to the bloody angle up to the Union side. So we did that all the way across the field. And so we did it kind of casually with my wife and the two kids. And so one of the things I did when we got up there is I said, okay, you hang out the Union side here, look at some of the monuments here and stuff like that. I will go back and get the car, and then I can just drive around. So you have to do the trip twice. It's a mile with that. And so what I did, because I'm a nerd, is I hit my iPhone and I started double timing it so that I teach US history. I could tell the students, I'm like, okay, I double timed it just like General Pickett's, men would have done it. And I said, it took me almost exactly 15 minutes to get back to the statue. So I said 15 minutes, open field, all right, with the Union artillery up there on Little Round Top and Culp's Hill and all that. And I said, wow, when I got back, I had 2 ticks. So that's the only time I got in ticks was Pickett's charge. So I always remember that. So, can outrun the ticks. So there you go. Yes.
I just admire coming to Rotary meetings and the experience of listening to the kids going through service learning over the years. And I'm probably your best fan. I can't believe the experiences I notice in how you all have grown in the year that you come in as a senior and the year you graduate. That period of time is a tremendous period for
Mhm.
you. And to see that happening with all the benefits of giving to others.
Mhm.
And I encourage you to consider keeping that up. Just because you leave and graduate, don't give up that concept of helping others. And I can give you my own personal experiences on that. I graduated from a Jesuit school. I thought I really knew how to study. And I got to college. I went to the University of Pennsylvania, and I was absolutely overwhelmed. My grades went down to the point where I thought I was going to fail the first semester. I could see myself failing. My father came down and visited me from New York City and said, "You've got to do something. I want you to use something to take up your time rather than just continually studying all the time." And I chose to give back to the university. I didn't want to take a job, so I gave back to the university. And I went on and became class president. But that whole thing of giving back got me back on track. And it's a wonderful experience because you're going to be going through a lot of pressures in that first year, particularly that first semester or so. And if you can continue on that service to others, it's going to help you.
Mhm.
And it's a wonderful asset that you've accumulated. Don't stop it. Just keep it going. And God love you for what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, well said. I also was worried about ticks, and I'm worried about Lexi going to Pittsburgh because they have those massive ticks there, that football team. Just make sure, stay away from that, all right?
That's right. That's right. Excellent. Okay. Thank you. Thanks for standing up, everyone.
Or is it you? It is. Oh, it's you.
Okay. We have a little change of the program today. What we're going to do is give you an update as to where we are with our gala, because we're now down to less than, and I want to report something absolutely wonderful. We all know that a successful gala starts with essentially a three-legged stool. We get funding from sponsors. And I'm pleased to report today that because of a very generous sponsor, we have already collected more than $20,000. This is terrific. We have never been in this position this early. It's really just incredible. The second is attendees, and this is where I need your help. If you have not signed up to come, please do so. The website is open. It's easy to use. We've changed the program just a little bit. This year, instead of having just a single selection for a meal, we're giving you a choice. You'll have an option between a beef medallion dinner, 2 beef medallions with the potatoes and asparagus, the berry salad, and that wonderful chocolate bomb with the raspberry coulis at the end. The second choice is the seafood salmon with the lobster cream sauce. And the third choice is a vegetarian choice of a homemade risotto with grilled vegetables. Catherine, you had a question. You don't necessarily, I'm not sure if it's going to force you to make a choice, but you can change the choice at a later date. So the question was, if you're buying tickets for someone else and you don't know their choices, can you still register them? It is best if you know. It is possible to change it at a later date, but everyone will be having a name tag this year, again, because it's the easiest way for us to distribute the drink tickets and let people know exactly where they're seated. This year, our name tags are slightly different. They will not be lanyards. They'll actually be a magnetic system very similar to our current name tags that we wear right now. So it'll be a lot easier for us to handle at the registration desk. So right now we have about 35 people who have actually signed up online. Last year we had 180 people who attended. So you can see things are coming. But what have we done to encourage people to join? We sent an invitation to every single person who attended last year who was not a Rotarian. And this week, we're also sending invitations to Rotarians who haven't been at our meetings because we're thinking they may not actually know the date either. And then so it's a quick way of letting people know when it is and how to register and what you actually need to do. So a formal invitation has actually been mailed, and this is the first time we've done this. So we're collecting data to be able to do this in the future. And also we realize that maintenance of our customer base is really strong. It's a strong thing that we should be doing. It's something we should be maintaining. We need to let people know that their involvement with us has impact. So part of that process is, as people are registering, we are asking for their home address. And that's because when the event is concluded, we will send them a thank you note for coming. It'll be signed by Chris and I, and essentially it's a way for us to let them know that our gala was successful and primarily because of them. And that's the second leg of our stool. We have to have people who come because we know of every ticket that's sold, $55 goes directly to the bottom line. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Tom, did you have a question? Yes. So 2. Number 3. Number 3 is, of course, our wonderful raffles in silent and live auctions. So I'd like to let you know a little bit about what we have for live auction items because it's really quite exciting. We have a wonderful package that's coming in for the first time from Gervaisy's. Gervaisy's on April 11th opened a spa, a very fancy, very nice spa. They also opened that same week a wine experience that they call the Cave. And it's essentially a teaching tool for them. They'll run classes on wine education, and it's a very nice, it's up to Gervaisy's standards. Let's just put it that way. So what they have given us is a package valued at $850. It's an overnight stay for 2. It is a dinner for 2, $200 towards dinner, and then a gift certificate towards the spa. So they have couples rooms. This is going to be absolutely incredible. And it's the first time that Gervaisy's has actually supported us in this way. We have a 2-night stay available at Ravenswood Castle, which is down in Hocking Hills. Now, we all know how beautiful Hocking Hills is in the fall. And they have rooms and, it's a unique facility. And we're hoping to put a dinner together with that so that it's a very nice package. We have essentially behind the Granite House in Peninsula, there's a barn that overlooks the gorge and the valley of the Cuyahoga River in Peninsula, right off of 303. And this barn has essentially been retrofitted and is now part of an Airbnb that is very, very upscale. It rents for approximately $500 a night. And we will have a one-night stay there. There is a restriction on the dates, of course, because it's a very popular place. And we're going to be putting that together with a dinner at either Russo's or the Wine Mill. So we have a donor who's donating that for us because they're not able to attend the gala. And they offered to do that. We again have the week's stay that John Adams gave us last year in Southern Florida. So we have an out-of-state experience. Pat Getz has also donated to us create your own adventure at Cedar Point, $750 gift certificate that you can take and make anything you want out of it. It can be a really blowout weekend with your family, or perhaps you take the kids several times to the water park there or to the amusement park there. Create your own adventure. So we're going to market it slightly different than we did last year. We think that the Create Your Own Adventure will actually be a good tool for doing it in that way. Lexus has come back to support us with tickets again to the Home Plate Club. And it includes food and the use of an automobile for the weekend. And it's going to be just a really nice experience because you don't get in there unless you've had an invitation. So that's another nice thing that we're doing. So all told, we've got, I think it is 9 or 10 live auction items. And then again, we are doing the date night for a year. And we're going after some high-end restaurants in Cleveland, including Pier W in Cooper's Hawk up on Harvard Boulevard. We're hoping also to get Burntwood Tavern out of Cuyahoga Falls and local places like Farmer's Rail, Rosewood Grill, Tomato Grill. This was a nice package last year. It brought in $1,700 and it was actually won by a Rotarian. So that was the fun thing. We're hoping again to offer a flight of wines as well as a flight of bourbons for a raffle. We'll be doing the raffle slightly different this year. We'll be digitizing the whole thing. And again, the Scouts will be there with their 50-50 auction. And I think it's just going to be a really lovely night. So we've got to talk about it. And part of what we're doing is that we've actually going to have an ad coming out in the Hudson Life magazine, thanks to Jay. This is a copy of it. We have a number of these posters that can be distributed throughout town. We have them up at Starbucks and at Heinen's and Acme. And if you have a favorite place that posts things, please let us know and take one and put it up there. I'm thinking Laurel Lake, heaven's sakes. Let's see if we can't get, they won't let us. Shucks. Well, when Hudson Life hits there, that'll be nice. I also want to report that we've had donations from people in the community who've never donated before. Hudson Explorer Pediatric Dentist has given us a family package with a really cute electric toothbrush for children. I mean, a package is worth $275. We have gotten a donation from the Maltz Museum. This is the first time we've approached them and they're coming through to support us. So it's really, really wonderful. Are there any questions that you might have? Now is the time to be getting your donations in from the businesses, getting everything collected. Invite your friends. This is a fun night. We'll be having the tent again outside, 3 bars set up at the very beginning. And then of course, on the day of, we'll be needing workers to help us assemble and also to prepare everything for the event. Catherine.
Okay, as we're starting to collect the gifts and the things that we're receiving, what do we do with them? Where do we bring them?
You bring them to the meeting or you bring them directly to my home. Dan Filburn's gone for a little bit and we'll be moving things from my house to his garage once he's back in town. But right now my living room sofa is where everything is going. Okay, it's a small house, trust me guys. The cats are leaving the living room alone right now. Okay, Tom.
Just to confirm, so there will be an outdoor area this year?
Yes, there
weather
will.
Permitting.
Yes.
And did I hear also that we will allow our guests to enter the dining room area?
Last year we made a change. One of the rooms that had been closed off to us, we opened up, that was right off of the foyer. And we put chairs and tables in there because we realized that for many people, standing for a long period of time is difficult. And so we'll have that room yet available this year with tables and chairs. Also, if we will be opening the dining room slightly earlier so that people can go in and settle down. I think once people have perused the silent auction items, they have an idea of what they want and what they're interested in bidding on. And so therefore it's best for us, honestly, if we open up our spaces and let people settle in. Okay, it's just, it got a little congested last year, and that's the reason that the tent is back, the outdoor space is back. We were concerned last year that because of the lower numbers that we couldn't afford the tent. I think we can afford the tent. We need to make this a very nice, classy outing. People have expectations, and we need to make them comfortable. That means that they'll come back.
First of all, thank you for your work on this and everyone else on the committee. It does take a couple hours to work.
It does take a couple hours. It does. It's a labor of love.
2 quick questions. First, so I've approached all the donors that are in my list. I'm wondering if you have a list somewhere of who's sent it in, because I'm wondering if some of the donors might have sent it directly.
We have had a lot of donors send us things directly. And I guess I've been remiss in letting you know that I've gotten their things. I promise I'll do that.
Great, yeah. So, because I'm going to go back and talk to anyone.
No, absolutely. We don't want to hit up people if they've already contributed. That means left hand isn't talking to right hand. And so we need to close that loop a little better.
And just a general suggestion to all of us, if anyone that week is maybe has a cough or temperature, just for safety's sake, may want to use one of those COVID test kits before they come. So I have some extras if they need to use it.
Okay, James is volunteering extra COVID tests that are not expired. I know I have a few in my closet, but I'm afraid that they're all expired. COVID did show up last year at our event, and we did send an email about a week, 3 to 5 days later, I think, indicating that if you were not feeling well, you should take a COVID test. A lot of people are finding that travel, groups of people, it's still around. This is not a pandemic, it's rather an endemic. It's something that's going to be with us for a while.
And actually, Mimi just told me that they've extended the life of the kit. So even if it says it's expired, I could still use it.
Yeah.
As CDC did extend until 2024, the ones that are
Okay.
supposed to expire now. And the other thing is that they are also recommending that anybody over 65 get the next booster shot. And they do have them. So I got mine yesterday.
Well, there we go. We will be having masks as well as hand sanitizing stations. And if people want to wear a mask, they're perfectly, I think people acknowledge that that's appropriate. So it's kind of up to the individual preference. I wanted to acknowledge at this point who we have for our donors. Our platinum donors, of course, are Colleague Giving and the Eric and Amy Trend family. We also have a very nice donation from the Tobin Family Foundation. And then we have 4 table sponsors. First National Bank, Mandy Connolly's law firm, Kugliak Williams, Griffins and Daughtery. Hudson Meadows is supporting us, as well as the EMS outreach. So that is wonderful. We've had a few others that we're still working on from last year. Callahan's took a table, took the cover of our program. We're working with our advertisers right now and working on setting up the program. So things are pretty much on track. It's just that we now need to get our numbers up. And that starts with Rotarians, starts with us making the decision that we're going to attend as well. So I urge you to go out to the website and to register there. If you want to write a check and mail it in, that's perfectly fine as well. We can take it from there. And so are there any other questions about anything else that might be happening with the gala? It's May 19th, Friday, starting at 6 o'clock. Dinner will be at 7. And I think Ron's got a comment.
I have a question.
Sure.
At what point in time will the items start showing up on the website?
Well, we'll make the website live on the Monday before. So as of today, nothing's been put up on the website yet. So I need to get a concert out of the way on Sunday and then I've got time. Okay. So I'd like to pitch that concert, by the way. Hudson Community Chorus is performing Sunday at April 30th at Christ Episcopal Church at 4 o'clock. I joined that chorus this year because they sing different things than my choir at St. Mary is allowed to sing. So it is interesting because the harmony, and honestly, we have a song about making chili con carne. And I'm telling you, it's very interesting to see a group of us going chili, chili, chili con carne. Yeah, it's really fun. I believe we also have the orthodontia package back. Is that true? Yes. Dr. John White, this may be one of the last years that we have this package available to us. He has been a long-term supporter of our Rotary goals, and we really need to acknowledge him that evening for the good that he's done for us. I mean, it was that package that honestly, we sold 2 of them in 2019, and that really made a difference to our bottom line. Really made a difference. So a lot of people in the community are excited to know that that is back again. So, any other questions? Otherwise, let's get our items in. Let's get our people registered. Let's have some fun. Okay, and at the next meeting, I'll be passing around a sheet asking for who can work on the day of. We'll be starting at 10 o'clock in the morning, and hopefully we'll be done by 12 to 1. Okay, we'll be bringing in a lot of things already ready. We just need to make it pretty, okay, so that it looks like it should. Okay, okay, so we are ready to roll. Father Joe, I'm going to turn it back to you.
Thank you, Marilyn. Thank you for all who are on the committee for all the hard work that you're doing. I, for one, cannot wait to hear Marilyn's saucy chorus songs. They must be pretty spicy. Yeah, right. Okay, we need to our Rotabuck raffle. I don't know how much it is. These are empty. There's no figures on here. Ben, what's the payout for today? Do you know? We're going to say $10. When you open it up, there may or may not be $10 in here. We don't know what the jackpot is either. $199. Okay. So are you in on this? You got no skin in this game? All right.
Nine, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1.
Who followed me up to the, who is that? You followed me up there? All right. I'll give you this right there. I'll take those right there. And then you'll see that there is a black one in there. Pull that black one out for $199. Oh, rats. Next time. All right. I don't really have a story per se. Go ahead. You can bring it on.
This one's just for Tom. So I went to see my financial advisor yesterday because of the uncertainty in the economy. And he told me to buy chicken, beef, and vegetables. It's the only way you'll become a billionaire.
Oh, oh, that was so bad. It was painful, wasn't it? I was just going to, mine was going to be a little bit more serious. And that was, in 1994, my wife and I had our second son. She gave birth to it. She was pregnant, not me. And anyway, it's kind of a pun. Anyway, our second son was born in 1994, and he was born in February. In April of 1994, half a world away in Rwanda, there was an essential, I don't know what you would call it. I think that the media called it like an ethnic cleansing, but it really wasn't an ethnicity. It was the majority Hutu against the minority Tutsis. But the Tutsis weren't really an ethnic minority. They weren't really ethnically distinct from the Hutsus. They were the same people. They were just the upper class. They were the wealthier people. When I was in Rwanda, I went to the Genocide Memorial. 800,000 people were murdered in Rwanda in 90 days. So in a 3-month span, when I was living a very comfortable life with a little baby boy, 2 of them, thinking about all the good things in life, there were on the other side of the world, people who were macheteing one another in the streets. And they killed almost 1 million people in 3 months' time. And there's a memorial to these people who lost their lives. And as you walk in it, it is, I mean, it's grotesque in the sight, and it's necessary so that it's not repeated again. But as I walked through it and saw this, and one of the most disturbing rooms, there's a room where there are skulls, actual human skulls, some of them with massive chunks out of them, you know, where they were hit in the head with a machete or clubbed or bludgeoned or something like that. And then there was a room called the children's room, where there were large portraits of young children. One of them, a 2-year-old boy. Below it, he was macheted to death. Below, another little girl, 5 years old, that she was thrown against the wall. It was sickening. It was awful. I bring this up because I think that we forget how deadly divisiveness is, and that we ought to be seeking, you know, a unity of spirit with one another, especially among our countrymen, our fellow citizens. People who don't think alike can be friends. People who have different opinions can love one another and care for one another. And Rotarians, with our 4-way test, we ought to, all people, be able to exemplify this in the world. So as you go out, remember, you live in peace. You have to work for it and keep fighting for it because it's worthwhile. Have a great day. Be great. Make somebody's life better, all right?